Hello. So it is Friday, May 8th, and it's like 6:30 or something. But I figured I am going to remove a little bit more of the electrical because I want to try and see what I can do to make my bill for my electrician a little bit lower. But this guy here, and then there's another one right there. I'm leaving them there because I am not climbing in the attic. So I'm leaving those there for them. But there was a couple of down below here. This is in the kitchen. So the oven one was there, and then the cooktop one was like here, and then there was two outlets on this wall, regular outlets. I used my tester. Oops, it's on. I used it in there to make sure everything was off. I turned everything off at the breaker, and just now, even though the breakers are off, I taped them so that it's very obvious. So that is what I'm doing, and I'm about to go back up and remove a little bit more. Hello. So this morning, an electrician stopped by. Not my electrician, but the electrician from a couple years ago who worked on the breaker box when the basement flooded under the previous homeowner. I guess the state electrical guy, when he had stopped by, what was this, like 2 months ago now or something, he told that electrician he didn't like the way that the grounding wire was connected to the water pipe. That's basically the extent of my knowledge about this. Because I don't know anything about how that stuff works. But so he had to come out and fix that. Then, so an hour and a half or so after he was done, I had an HVAC company come out, the same one who did the furnace a couple years ago, because I figured they've already been in the house, whatever. And we wanted a ballpark of what air conditioning would cost eventually, but mainly right now we just want them to move a couple of vents. This one possibly, and mainly the one that's on the front of the closet currently, that's going to be my master bedroom closet. Because my dad said yesterday, but I decided to ask the HVAC people anyways how easy they could move that, because there's a lot of like structural stuff in the basement and stuff in the way. So it's like, how could you be able to, if we wanted it over here, how would you get it over there? And they kind of explained it to us, and that sounds perfect. So then this won't be in the way anymore. So we'll redo a bottom plate of the wall all the way along, and then add some extra blocking under here between the two joists so that we can move that. Then the original plan in here was to move this vent just into the floor directly in front of the closet somewhere. But seeing as we're going to have an HVAC company come out anyways, we're just going to have them move it over there. And that's perfect. That's not a load-bearing wall or anything. It's very easy to move it over there, especially because in here, in the basement, there's nothing in the way. The only thing that could have possibly been an issue is that we're not sure, but we're thinking that this white paper stuff that's wrapped around the tin is asbestos. So they could go back to the company and ask if they can do that, what the cost would be, yada, yada, yada. But we just decided, no, my dad and I can remove the old vents. That way they don't have to worry about it. We're obviously going to mask up and everything and try to do our best not to disturb the fibers, not to get as little of that as possible into the air so that it's not an issue. Although, as I've said before, we don't work with it every day. So the teensy tiny bit of exposure that we might end up with shouldn't make a difference. But that is probably what we're going to work on today. We've been working on windows, but it's way too windy today to do that. And we only have one left anyways. So we're going to start this, and there's a whole bunch of other small things that we can do around here. So, see ya.